Start streaming and we should be live. Let me just double check. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about outreach and how I do outreach. And basically what you guys should be looking out for. So obviously outreach is the process of essentially reaching out to other websites and getting a link placed on their website. So for example, you might reach out to 123.com and you might say, hey, I have a piece talking about the biggest cities in the UK. Can I get a link on your website linking back to this page? And essentially we will be getting more page rank through to this page, meaning that we're going to get more rankings. Now, years and years and years ago, you were able to actually do this for free. There are certain ways that you can still get outreach links for either free or for a fairly cheap price. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple different examples today where you can get links for free. It does require a little bit of work. It does require a little bit of essentially manual process of collating information and piecing it together, but we'll go over the entire strategy from start to finish. So this page here is biggest cities in the UK. It ranks for, if we just take a look here, ranks for about 900 or 1,000 keywords, 3,900 traffic. So it does fairly well. Now, one thing that we actually done on this page is we decided to create a infographic here, right? So if you can just take a second, right? So think of the intent of this page. This page is talking about the biggest cities in the UK. We have got a lot of tables. And what we decided to do is create an infographic called Biggest Cities in UK Full Breakdown 2024. So we done a breakdown of the most violent areas in England. So we had Blackpool, Middlesbrough, Tennant, Birmingham, Bradford. And this was based on violent crimes per 10,000 residents. We've got the average rent for certain cities, so Kingston upon Hill, Aberdeen, Leicester and Coventry. Then we've got the average property yield in London, and then the average Glasgow property yield, which is the highest, I believe, in the UK. So we've done all of this research. And we just done a full breakdown of four of the highest yields for property. So Manchester, Birmingham, Nottingham, Liverpool. Got the lowest as well, which is London, West Essex, Dorset, Bromley. Then we have got towns with most jobs and average salary as well. So we've got Milton Keynes, Oxford, Winchester, Colchester, St Albans, and then also most student-friendly cities in the UK as well. So we've got Newcastle, Liverpool, Cardiff, Sheffield, Nottingham, and Manchester. So it's a very informative infographic, right? So what we then decided to do is we decided to do some outreach to some websites. So we've obviously got some really high DR websites. So we've got a DR64 website linking through to us, and as you can see here, infographics of UK cities, it links back through to this page here. And then we've also got DR75. Again, this has got our infographic and it links back to our website. So it's really good to see that people are doing that. Now, one thing that I would recommend is if you guys are looking to acquire cheap links, or if you guys are looking to do any form of link building, some of you guys might not have the time to do this. I just recommend hiring an outreach agency. The link for Searcheroo is in the description if you guys do want to just outsource your outreach and you just want to focus on your on-page SEO, because this does take a little bit of time, but we're going to go over exactly how we created this infographic and how we're landing links, right? So step number one is you're going to want to find a article on your website that is more informative than like a best or a roundup article. So for example, we have picked the biggest cities in the UK, right? Then what you want to do is go to Canva and search for infographic. I just clicked on this one here. start designing an infographic. They have a lot of preset templates as well that you can pick from. So as you can see here, this is very similar to the actual infographic that we used. I believe this was actually the template that I used, right? So if we take a look at our infographic, where is it? I believe it's further down the page. Very similar style. So you can just tweak this. So let's say, for example, if you've got a page talking about the areas to start running as a beginner, right? You might need to tweak the font size and stuff. But you're going to want to do a little bit of research. So, for example, there might be certain beaches that people prefer to run. There might be certain areas in the UK. You might say that running up a hill can help with your stamina. You're essentially going to go to town when it comes to the research. So if I just show you this example here, right? What I decided to do is I thought that the biggest cities in the UK, we could probably get a couple or a lot of websites that are essentially to do with small businesses or to do with investment linking through to us, because this page here is first of all talking about the biggest cities in the UK, but you can also tie in like which areas to invest in the UK. So that was the angle that I essentially went for this page. So we essentially decided to categorize the most violent areas, because again, if you're renting a property or if you're going to buy a property to rent it, you don't want to be buying a property that is in a very violent area, right? Then we decided to do the average rent for a one bedroom. So Coventry was one of the highest, I believe, for a one bedroom. Then we done the average yield. So again, this is all things that an investor would want to look at. So then we done 4 of the highest yields, 4 of the lowest, towns with the most jobs and average salaries. And again, this is all crucial information, especially if you are looking to buy a property to rent it. So then what we essentially done was we then downloaded this, embedded it onto our page here, and then we started doing some outreach. Now, the best way that you can obviously do outreach to these websites is, first of all, find the websites that you want to reach out to. What I would recommend doing is doing a link gap of your competitors. So if we take a look here, right? If we take a look at FatRank, and let's pick a couple of our competitors. So we've got linkbuilder.io, we've got AccuRanker, and we'll do CraftJack as well, right? So I've just picked 3. Or actually, I'll pick Backlinko. Right, so just pick 3 of your competitors. Go over to the link gap section here. Where is it? Backlinks, link intersect it's called. So then what you want to do is just paste in 3 of your competitors. Show link opportunities, and this is what it's going to do is it's going to crawl all 3 of your competitors, and it's going to come back with target placements that they have that you don't. So we'll know exactly which websites to essentially start doing some link building through to. So then I'm just going to look at 3 targets, click apply. So we're going to go from 57,000 links down to 146. Then what we can do, so we've got 1 hour professor. So we've got quite a few different websites to essentially do some outreach to. Link lifting, Toby. Fix. So basically what we're going to be doing is creating a list of websites that we want to do some outreach to. So for example, I'm going to just click usamagazine.com. right? So what we're going to do here is you've got two options. You can contact these guys directly, or you can use hunter.io. I'm going to log into hunter.io over here. So hunter.io, what you can do is you just paste in the domain name. It's free to use this. I believe you get 50 free credits. And then you can essentially see the emails attached to the website. In that case, you weren't able to. But if we were to just take a look at, for example, Southwest Londoner, you've got like all three of these emails, so you can just outreach to them saying, hey, I've got a really good infographic talking about property investment in London, for example, and I think it would be very suitable for your audience. And basically they'll come back to you and say, hey, yes, we can upload it, or they might have a few stipulations where you might need to write the content or potentially pay for the content. It depends on the website owner. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. One thing I will say is that if you're providing an infographic, website owners do prefer like media rich stuff. So they are more warm to essentially embedding a image or potentially a video. Sometimes we also do videos in some cases, and we get the links for free that way. And again, it works out very, very well. So that's one method of essentially doing outreach, white hat outreach as well. And if we just take a look here, so yeah, you've got 3 different emails that you can reach out to. I would probably just go with like the news desk, because it's also categorized as like the writing and communication. So you can go down that route, and you can essentially very quickly acquire a load of links. One thing I will say is, if you are doing the email method, and if you're not going to be like contact or using the contact form on these guys' website, I would only reach out to, let's say, 15 to 20 people every single day. Otherwise, you're going to essentially blacklist your domain or your emails. So basically, when you blacklist your emails, they won't reach the actual inbox. They'll go straight to the spam. So just bear that in mind. If you are going to be doing a lot of outreach, don't just start sending out 600 emails a day, because you're gonna hit the spam box when you do that. So that's outreach style number 1. Outreach style number 2 we're going to talk about is, if we just take a look here. So as you can see, we have got some really high PR publications. So we've got The Independent, we have got Washington Times, and we also have Live Mint here as well, right? So basically, if you want to get published on the higher authoritative websites like these, so this is, what is The Independent? Is it DR90, I believe? Let's take a look. Is it DR91? One thing you will need to do is it needs to be super newsworthy, what you're trying to achieve, right? So, for example, you need to be taking a look at what is actually trending. So right now, AI is massive. Valentine's is huge as well. So you need to remember that a lot of these publishers, so for example, Freya Combs, which was the publisher of this, she works for The Independent. She has certain KPIs, right? Now, the KPIs mean that, for example, if it's Valentine's Day, they might need a lot of they might need to publish 20 Valentine's Day articles in the month of February, right? So if I was doing outreach right now, bearing in mind if you guys are watching this at a further date, it's February 11th, hence why I'm talking about Valentine's Day. If I'm doing outreach right now, there would be a lot of articles that would be to do with Valentine's Day. Sometimes you might not be able to essentially get that in, but again, it's one thing to bear in mind. So, for example, think about the holidays. So you have got Christmas, you've obviously got New Year's, you have Valentine's Day, you have Easter, anything summer related. So, for example, the kids are off during summer. So, if you can publish an article to do with summer holidays, or essentially pitch an idea to some of these offers to do with summer holidays, then even better, because that will get some traction as well. You always need to bear that in mind. It needs to be when you're publishing for some of these, like the Independent, Washington Times, you kind of need to take your SEO hat off, because they're not going to be able to publish articles to do with the best lawnmowers that's linking to your lawnmower website, right? It needs to be newsworthy, what you're essentially pitching. So, for example, if say you had a lawnmower website, you could potentially do an infographic saying how eco-friendly it is to start using electric lawnmowers, and you've done a case study to say that you are able to save, let's say, £60 a month by using an electric lawnmower, something like that, because again, it is going to be a little bit more newsworthy. It's not going to be just talking about the best articles. That's all they care about, the like some of these publishers, right? So now I'm going to show you guys how to essentially find some of these publishers. So what I would be looking to do is, let's say we are going to be talking about AI, right? Because that's a big topic at the minute. Where is ChatGPT, right? Get the buyer's guide, Gen AI, ChatGPT. What I'll do, this will probably be easier because I don't actually know how to use the Independent website. Site, Independent, we'll do ChatGPT. So once we actually have our pitch, right? Let's say we were going to pitch to the Independent and Live Mint, etc., saying that it's going to be to do with ChatGPT. What we would want to do is obviously think of like an infographic, or think of like an informative article that we can pitch to some of these offers. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find publishers on the Independent that are essentially talking about ChatGPT. And the best way that you can do that is obviously doing the site : ChatGPT. So we have got a load of articles here. So we've got Anthony Cuthbertson, I believe that's his name. Then he's talking about a lot of ChatGPT. He's probably like the go-to guy when it comes to ChatGPT on the Independent. So you've got all of that. Let's see if there's any other offers. So you've got Andrew Griffin as well. But Anthony seems like the go-to guy when it comes to the Independent. He's publishing every single day almost, talking about ChatGPT. So this would probably be one of the people that I would be reaching out to. And the best way that you can obviously do that is just by searching his name. And you can obviously find him. I believe he's also on Director Creative Ted Baker PLC. Nope. Offer. Usually offers do have like a muck rack page, so that's him there. So you can find all of his contact details here. Let's see if we can find his Twitter. That's his Twitter there. You do obviously need to log into muck rack. Let me just log into it on another screen. So this is his this is his Twitter here. You've got everything on Muckrack. You can find his LinkedIn, so you can reach out to him, and I believe he also has his own website as well. So very quickly, you can see what he's actually interested in. So Julian Assange, he spoke about Bitcoin. Um, so if you can find an angle and pitch it to him that's talking about ChatGPT and potentially also crypto, he would very much like that. And again, you can do this for every single offer. So let's say we want to publish an article to do with sports, right? Um, let's say we've got a gambling website. We could do here. So we've got Sonia Twig, and that's our all of our information. So Sonia Twig, Muckrack, PA media journalist, that's her there. And then you've got everything. You've got her Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So that's one way of doing it. This is a little bit of a manual process, but you do obviously have tools, and these are paid tools such as Prowly. Prowly, you can essentially search the database. I believe they also have a 7 or 10 day free trial as well if you did want to test out before you actually purchase Prowly. But essentially what Prowly is it's a database of journalists. You can search up what you're trying to essentially pitch for. So if you have like an infographic, or if you want to pitch for Valentine's Day or sports or ChatGPT or /AI, you can do. The Prowly website doesn't seem to be working right now. I don't know why. Here we go. Let's just take a look at the price in here. Super slow website. Let's open it in incognito. Prowly. Yeah, it seems to be, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's not working right now. But that website, when it is working, when the website is working, let's just see if their PPC page works. Yeah, pricing. So it is £258 a month, billed annually. You can obviously change this to monthly. So it's about $369 a month if you want to just test out for 1 month. You've got 500 media database contacts, and you've got the emails, online monitoring, and 2 users can simultaneously use it at the same time. Or you can go for the pro and you've got 1,500. But what Prowly does is what I've just shown you, where it's very manual, where you're searching up or where you're looking at like the tech section, and then you're finding an offer that's talking about, for example, electric cars and Elon Musk, and then you're searching up Andrew Griffin on Google. What Prowly does is it's a central database of all the journalists that speak on, not just the Independent, by the way, but the Sun, the Daily Mail, New York Times. It's got all of the journalists on there, and you can essentially very quickly see which journalists prefer to talk about what subjects, and you can very quickly pitch your ideas to them as well. And also another thing that you can do with that is do follow-ups as well, because one thing that when you are doing any form of outreach, or when you're doing any form of outreach to journalists as well, is that you're not going to always land the link or the contact the first time. You're going to need to follow up 2 or 3 times, and what Prowly does is it automates that for you as well. So that's the other good thing about it. Now, again, if you did want to do this manually and you didn't want to pay the $300 a month for Prowly, what you could always do is use some email software such as Woodpecker email. So you've got like tools like woodpecker.co. This will automate your cold outreach as well. So this you can set up very easily and very quickly to say, right, I want you to email Andrew or Anthony, and if he doesn't reply in 2 days' time, follow up with another email. So it does all the follow-up process for you as well. So that's the good thing about like certain tools like this, and it's a fraction of the price as well. So it's $29 a month. But the good thing about Prowly is that you obviously have the contact as well, so you don't need to essentially be messing around manually searching up all the offers on all the different websites. So we've just looked at the Independence, for example, but you need to do this for a variety of different newspaper websites. So for example, if we were going to do travel, you would need to find the author of this, which is Cara, and then you would need to just Google her and find her contact information that way. So that has been the video on outreach. If you guys do have any questions, drop them down below. And as I said in the start of this video, if you guys want the outreach done for you, make sure to check out searcheroo.com. The link is in the description, and thank you for watching.